This is Geraint Thomas riding for 3 days to raise money for the NHS. Okay, there we go. So I'm not sure how long I'm going to last, but that's all right. So big respect to Geraint Thomas. He is doing 3 whole 12-hour shifts on his bike, replicating NHS workers. Looks like we've got people here from all around the world. Bavaria, Las Vegas, South Africa, Ireland, Dubai. There's so many people here. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I'm going to give this poor wee leg a rest. So we're going to start in 26 seconds. Just checking it's working, and it is. Okay. I'm not going to show you my lovely view. Once we've started, I'll find Geraint and I'll show you his view. Maybe I can't. Look how many people are here. It's just unbelievable. Now, I don't expect to be able to keep up with him. In fact, he's the yellow beacon. I don't even know where he is right now. Let's see if I can get him up. Here we go. This is a fan view. So Geraint Thomas is the one with the yellow beacon above his head. Wearing orange. By the looks of it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So many people. It's just quite incredible. Support for the grand old NHS. He's the one with the beacon, like I said before. This is a fundraiser for the NHS. I'm not sure how much he's raised so far. I think he's just starting day 3. It's hard for me to keep up because I'm a day ahead of everyone. Down here in New Zealand. However, pretty cool all the same. The course we're on is in New York. The notice pop up there. Somebody's riding the whole 12 hours with him today. Wow. I can't even imagine that. It's just amazing. Amazing, amazing. Not sure how long I'm going to stay here because I can't keep up with these guys. I'm somewhere else. But I just wanted to support the cause. I am British. I've been following what's happening over there in Britain. So sad to see the amount of people who've contracted it. I know people myself personally who've contracted COVID-19. My husband knows someone who's died COVID-19. So many people. So it's really good to see this sort of support. And I know it's not real, but how often do you get to ride with a pro? Even in the virtual world, not very often. This is New York Central Park. There's parts of this that I think are modelled on reality, and there's parts that definitely haven't been. The Sky Road and all of that. I'm not sure which part of this we're on, whether you'll see it today or not. So those guys up front, on the way up the wee incline, you can see the gradient on the top of the screen. This is the Sky Road. This is where reality becomes the future. I say the yellow beacon, that is Geraint Thomas, right there in the orange with a white stripe on him. And I don't know if you've been following the media, but did you see, what was he called? Captain Tom, who has, at 99 years old, walked 10 laps of his garden, 2.5 kilometres, no, 100 laps of his garden, and then wanted to raise £1,000 and has actually raised 12 million the last time I checked. I don't know what it is now. But I'll just switch the views and let you watch these guys for a minute. So you can see they're now up at sky level now. There's a good old group there that's still with him. You can see the New York skyline in the background there. Parts of this are quite a steep climb. You see there's a good group with him. Let's see what the chat is saying. Oh, not a great deal. So like I say, this is Greg Thomas. He is doing 3 whole 12-hour shifts on Zwift, raising money for the NHS for the COVID-19 fight. I'm here because I'm British, even though I now live in New Zealand. I like to support my nation. I did have a citizenship application in. I'm guessing that'll be kind of delayed. I was going for dual citizenship. Looks like those guys have gotten to the top and they're on their way along the flat for a bit. Who's there with him? Let's see. Can't keep up. Changes so quickly. You'll see the New York skyline in the background. Looking good. As we come along the flat at the top. Still tucked in nicely into that group. There he is there. Look at that New York skyline back there. Pretty cool. Wonder if New York will ever look like this with a sky road. It looks like they'll duck down into the park again soon. There they go. Downhill, you can pick up some good speed on this stretch of road here. A little bit of an up. Still a nicely tightly packed bunch. In the real life, bunch riding I find really hard, but there's a lot to be said for it. You can gain a lot of aerodynamic advantage riding in a bunch. And someone told me the tip for Zwift and bunch riding, if your avatar is tucked down, you don't have the aerodynamic advantage. And to be quite close on the back of some wheels of someone else. Here comes the descent. We're going through a station. There's trains underneath here. Not really, but you know what I mean. But really there is. Really not really. So a bit of a flat for a while. I think I might stick with him for maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes. Then I think I'll give my leg a rest. My aim is steady and constant. You can see where he is because he's got Team Ineos hit on, Ineos on his leg. Right there in the middle of the group. Can join and leave as you please. Oh my gosh, they're doing the King of the Mountain. That's tough in New York. It's quite a steep climb. As you can see. You earn bikes, wheels, and all sorts of other fancy things as you go through Zwift. So we'll put them on them for a moment. This is a double dip climb with a station at the top. And then the arch is just beyond that. Some fancy wheels there. And some people knocking out some good stats on basic bikes as well, by the looks of it. Here's where you find out where the climbers are. Pretty steep, 15%, that's pretty mean. Pretty steep slope. When bikes disappear, that means the rider has decided to stop. Like I say, you can stop and start anytime you like. I wonder how much is raised. I'll have to have a look. Let me see if I can get the answer. Let's see if I can get the answer. Just ask the question. %, pretty steep parts of this ride so far. Flattening out a little. What's going to happen here at the top of the King of the Mountain? What do you reckon? Will there be a sprint for it? Or is he just going to keep on trotting nice and steadily? Pretty steep. Can sort of get a bit of a grasp of how steep at that angle there. 15%. And you see that pink shadow? That's the King of the Mountain arch, which is further around the corner. Looks like he doesn't mind. Who selected this route for day 3? Not me. So there you go, that's the confirmation. Day 3. He's on day 3 of 3. He's already cycled for 24 hours. Sorry, 12 hours. He's done 12 hours in the last 24. And like I said to you at the beginning, this is not an easy course. And they're on their way down the other side. They're on their way down the other side. Nice, good downhill stretch. A little rise before they then descend again. But it's sun shining in New York. Doesn't normally. Well, I don't know, it's a fair mix. Sometimes I get rain in this virtual world. Sometimes it's nighttime. So at least it's daylight and sun shining. Nothing worse than joining a virtual world to get away from the weather. You've also got virtual weather. Still a good mix of people there. Good big group within. Looking good, still looking good. Good group, all nice tucked in together. Bet there's some other pros in there hiding. Ex-pros and all sorts of other things. We're heading downhill again. Pick up some good speed here. This is where riding as a group comes into play. You need to be tucked in behind someone. I've got over 70 down here. So look, they're back down at ground level. I just want you to get into perspective here. What's going on is going up a hill, 20k an hour, 200 watts. And this is day 3 and he's tired legs. Pretty amazing, really. I like that guy's fancy wheel. It's quite cool. Go back up sky level. Someone here is saying Zwift should give us virtual PPE to ride in. That'd make for interesting avatars. Riding with a mask, I don't think I'd want to. Good grief. $50k an hour. They give it 5 or 10 more minutes and then we'll leave them to it. In Zwift, if you give each other a thumbs up, you get a virtual bottle of juice in your backpack. There's an impressive New York skyline again back there. Looking good. He's still got a good grip with him. I admire those people. They've been able to keep up with that speed. Pretty impressive. Does break up a little bit when they're on the way down a hill. They'll come back together again at the bottom. Nice hazy New York skyline behind. There he is in yellow. And on the flat again. But up in the trees, on the flat up in the trees. And the roads crisscross down below, so you often see cyclists going past down below, and runners. Like the sun is setting over Central Park. Nice orange glow in the sunset. As they descend, another little sweep. Three more minutes and I'm going to stop. Looks like they're on a steep climb again. Look at that gradient. You can see it from that angle. We're going to stop at 40 minutes. So thereabouts. Oh, that was a quick sunset. Look at that. It's dark now. Pretty sure it was sun shining a minute ago. But the graphics are really good. Look at the backdrop now for New York. 13% cranking it up. It's dropped right down to 8K an hour. This skyline is a tough course. If you don't know Zwift that well and you're still building up your muscles, stay on the ground down in the park. There's a lot of hills up here in the sky. It's quite tough. It's not a route I choose often, to be honest. I thought it was a bit mean making him do this on day 3. However, it is what it is. All in the name of the NHS and fighting the battle of COVID-19 over there in the UK. That's what we're here for. I'm sure you've had plenty of opportunities to donate, but that's what he's doing. He's doing this to raise funds for the NHS. 3 whole days, 12-hour stints, non-stop cycling to emulate the 12-hour shifts that the frontline nurses and doctors do for the NHS. So that was a snippet of Geraint Thomas's ride around New York, day 3, 12-hour shifts on his bike to raise awareness and funds for the NHS in the UK in the fight for COVID-19. So it was a pleasure to be somewhere in there. I was less than 10 k's behind. I suppose that's a bonus. And I hope you enjoyed it. Check you out against it.